I hope there's no mountain lions, I hope there's no bears, and I hope I don't fall in the water and die. Alright, so I'm gonna go walk this North Grove trail. I like walking the trail backwards because everybody walks it forwards, so I walk it backwards, and then I don't have to worry about people being behind me or rushing me or anything while I'm walking, so it's pretty cool. Pretty crazy. So yeah, the foliage here, the light here, colors, everything here, super chaotic. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to simplify this, really simplify it, or find a very lit area to capture. So that's the challenge for today, painting in this forest. Oh man, this place is awesome, dude. So awesome. So this trail I'm walking is a loop. It's like a little over a mile, I think. So I'm sure I'll come across something. Check out the size of this tree, man. Check that out. I've done a painting of that one, a few paintings of it probably, but done a lot of paintings from this place, just not plein air. I think I did like one plein air here before in oils, like years ago, and it wasn't that great. So glad I'm finally getting out here. Hopefully could do at least one or two during this beautiful time. The fall colors, man, should be cool, man. I'm feeling, it's so nice to just be out here. It's so nice to be out in nature, just enjoy it. And the silence, the peacefulness, the color, just everything, man. It's just awesome. So what I'm hoping for that would be nice is to find a bench like that with a nice view that I could set up and paint something. Everything's in shadow though, so far. These group of 3 trees, pretty cool. Mostly shadow though. Same thing on this side. Giant tree, mostly shadow. Another tree, mostly shadow. So I'm just gonna keep trekking along till I come across a giant sequoia with some nice light on it, and hopefully some fall colors around it, man, and then we'll be in business. It's so beautiful. Man, it's amazing. Fucking amazing. So amazing. I'm just gonna keep saying the same thing over and over this whole entire episode. So right up here is the pioneer cabin tree that fell a few years ago. Luckily I got some footage of me the first time I came here walking through the tunnel in the tree. But yeah, now the tree is fallen, so it's completely different. Completely different. Pretty crazy. Check it out now. So you can see where it was kind of, tunnel was cut into it, and how big this thing was, or is. So it says it was estimated to be about 2,000 years old. And one year when we had a lot of rain, a lot of storms, the ground got really wet, a lot of wind, the thing just fell over. Pretty crazy. But that's how nature works, man. Now the tree will be a habitat and stuff for hundreds of more years for other animals and stuff. I love these like golden ferns. Those are awesome. Makes a really cool color harmony. I like this tree right here. It's got some light on it, foliage all around it. It's hard to paint something when you're so close to it because it just looks so big. Like it would take up the whole sketchbook, just the bottom of it. So I might come back to this tree if I don't come across anything else pretty soon, because that had some nice light on it. And one trick I've done before is to take a picture of it with my phone, and that kind of shrinks everything down a little bit, and then I'll make this sketch from my photo on the phone, and then I can just paint the colors and stuff from life. But it kind of helps me simplify the drawing and stuff. There's nice light on that tree over there. Kind of like that. And there's so much foliage. I mean, I can kind of invent the colors and the foliage around Okay, that one might be it. Problem is I don't want to block this pathway because it's a walking trail, a lot of people here. I mean, I could literally stand up and paint it, so it wouldn't be a big deal. I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna go a little bit more. But that's definitely an option. That's definitely an option for sure. But I know there's one area up here, it gets a lot more light. There's a few more trees. I'm gonna go there first. If not, I'll just backtrack a little bit. No big deal. So this is the mother of the forest, is what they call it. And back in the day, they stripped off all the bark on it, which killed it. And then they exhibited the bark as one thing, as proof of these giant trees, because nobody believed there was these giant trees. So they're like, okay, let's just take all the bark off of the one called the mother of the forest. How symbolic of man to kill the mother of the forest. It's crazy, man. Yeah, I'm still debating on what to paint. I don't know that I'm gonna backtrack anymore. I've gone too far. I'm almost halfway through this trail. I'm having trouble today. I'm having trouble deciding. It's my trouble every time almost. Nothing new, I guess. So those little chirps you're hearing, they're not birds. They're a kind of squirrel called a chicory, or a Douglas squirrel, but chicory sounds cooler to me. They're smaller than a regular squirrel. I've gotten pretty close to them before. They're pretty cool. They're really cool little squirrels. I like them. Alright, I'm going to paint one of those giant sequoias at the very beginning of the trail that I took. Technically it's the end of the trail, but beginning of my trail. Then I'm going to head over to drive out to the river area, about 9 or 10 miles down the road, into the forest, into the wilderness. And there's a really epic river area. It's almost more epic than this forest, but it's tough to beat this forest. That's my plan. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, I'm gonna try a slightly different plan actually. There's a meadow area over here, and there's also some trees, giant sequoias and stuff, so I'm gonna check that out first before I go back onto the trail. There's usually some really good light, and there's a lot of colorful foliage over there I can see. So let's do that real quick. Alright, so here's this picnic area. You can see a lot of light, a lot of colorful foliage. Alright, that's some beautiful foliage right there. That's really beautiful. That's what I've been looking for, this kind of foliage. So if I can use that foliage, there's a nice giant sequoia right there. If I can add just a little bit of light on one side of it and use the color from this foliage, some of the foliage in there, that's it. You know, some of the colors from over there, put it right there. Yeah, I think I might do that because look at this. I mean, I don't have to worry about a trail. I don't have to worry about people bothering me on the trail. I can just sit at this table, paint what's in front of me. This is it. Let's see what this says. Great, basically, don't leave your food out because a bear will come and get it and then eat you after they eat your food. Yeah, I'm gonna do this because this is perfect. All right, folks, starting the painting here, mixing up some colors. This was definitely a challenging painting, as you'll see the final result here. It isn't the greatest painting ever, but it's definitely just part of my journey, trying to figure this out. Obviously, this isn't a scene that I normally paint all the time, and so it's definitely challenging. And I remember painting this particular painting. I went for a different method, and it kind of failed about halfway through, and then I kind of abandoned it. So I actually was taking believe it or not, I decided to try a digital painting approach to this painting. So what I was trying to do was put down kind of the local color of things that were out there as the first bit, as you're seeing here. So green, yellows, reds, browns, oranges. And for the shadows, I was going to put a dark but cool color. So like a dark grayish purpley blue. And that's what you see me putting in here. So I'm kind of glazing this in as shadows, just seeing if it would work. That's kind of how I was doing a little bit of digital painting and stuff during this time. And it didn't really work. I was like, okay, this is not working for watercolor. And I figured, I'll just try it out, see what happens. So I ended up abandoning that failed method here. And I started putting down actual shadow colors that I was seeing, for the foliage and stuff, and the tree. I started putting down colors that made more sense. I think overall I didn't go dark enough, and that's one of the problems, but we'll look at it later on. But that's definitely one of the problems. I didn't squint enough, and I got too caught up in what was actually out there, and I didn't really get the light effect that I wanted, unfortunately, which is a bummer. But, I was there. It was a cool experience, and I captured the essence of those colors and stuff, and, the spirit of this place, so better than nothing. All right, guys. I'm pretty happy with that one. We can talk about it later, but you can see the tree there now. Ended up getting some light on it and stuff, so I didn't have to fully invent everything, which is pretty nice. The light's always changing, everything's always changing and moving and stuff, so it's getting late in the day. I need to eat something. It's Sunday, got work tomorrow, first thing in the morning, so I gotta get back home. But it's been a great day so far, man, really great. Epic day in the forest, man, epic day in the forest. Doesn't get much better than this, Does not get much better than this. Giant sequoias, epic fall colors, man, super epic. This is just awesome. Well, I know I walked that whole trail earlier and I didn't paint anything on it, but I still hope you guys enjoyed the journey, enjoyed seeing everything, and just, sometimes that's how it goes. Just like enjoying myself, taking everything in, and sometimes I don't end up painting it. But check out this picnic area now. It's just no one out here, completely quiet. So that was a perfect choice. That was a good choice. You trying to scare me off? All right. We'll go. I'll leave him alone. Scared me off, man. Scared me off with those squeaks. They're so cool. Oh boy. It's depressing that they cut down such a big tree back in the day, man. Pretty nuts. Pretty crazy. But, guess it's what you have to do sometimes. I don't know. Look at me trying to justify it. It already happened, so, it is what it is. And depressing it is, for me anyway. I only walked on it once before. I only went up there on the platform once a few years ago. I don't like to walk off on it. Finally made it to this bridge and the river. It's a little windy here. Sorry if the mic has some noise. So here's the river. That's not what I want to paint though. I want to paint this side. And I'm gonna go down there on the rocks, get a closer view, better view. Now in the spring, while all the snow melt in the mountains is melting, this place is unbelievable. It's unbelievably epic. Right now it's epic, but in the spring it's super duper epic. Super crazy epic. But right now this is epic. This is almost better than the forest for a painting. So the scary part is, there's nobody else out here. There's like one other car in the parking lot, and I don't see any other people, so I hope there's no mountain lions, I hope there's no bears, and I hope I don't fall in the water and die. Warning, don't die. That's pretty much what it said. Look at the color of this water. That is incredible. That bluish green, that is so cool. Climb down these rocks. So this is crazy, man. But it always has perfect light on it. It's just, it's perfect for painting. if I don't fall down these rocks and die. Okay, here we go. Almost there. So check this out, man. I mean, you can really do both views. I could paint that, or I could paint it this way. That's not as cool though. That's what I want to paint. And we're gonna paint some rocks and some water, I guess. Or try to, attempt to. So this is, I've been wanting to paint here for like a year or two and I always forgot. And this is my chance now. Probably one of the most epic places I'm ever gonna paint, that's for sure. It's pretty cold in the shade, a lot of wind coming through. I think I'm gonna get a little bit closer to it from a different view and see if there's anything more interesting. Of course, I should have just chose that first spot anyway. But here we go, we get different views. So that's my other spot, or that rock. Focus more in on some of the area, more of the rocks and a little bit of water going around it. There's too much to paint, that's the problem. I gotta come back. It's gonna be closed for winter really soon, so I may have to come back next spring. Once it snows here, they close this whole road. You can't come back. I think right here, that's my view. So I'm gonna go for that. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. This is super epic, man. I've been wanting to do this for so long. And finally, about to do it, man. So cool, really epic. Let's do it. Final painting of today, second and final painting. This one was really cool. And I think looking at this video now a few months later, a few weeks later, it was definitely a better effort than I initially had thought that day. You know, I was kind of exhausted that day after looking at the paintings and just being out in nature and stuff and driving so much. I ended up driving like 5 hours in one day. It's a lot of driving. But this one was pretty cool. I used a lot of wax resist before putting any paint down. And what that does is you just rub some wax, like a crayon that's colorless, on the page. And then when you put down some colors, it ends up giving, when you put down some paint and water, wherever that wax was, it keeps the white of the paper, but it also gives a nice little texture. So I kind of used that for a lot of the water areas where the water was meeting the rocks and stuff. Gave a real nice effect. I wish I would have used it more, actually. But, you know, it's still cool to use it and try to capture that. I think I went too light on this one as well. I probably could have gone a bit darker. But I think overall, I started out way too light. And I really loved the color harmony that I got in the beginning. And then as I started getting darker, I had too many layers to this painting. Like I probably could have really simplified the painting, done it in less layers, and got stronger, cleaner color than I did. So the rocks were challenging because part of the rocks were very wet. So you get this really glossy and vibrant, saturated color. And then other parts of the rocks were dry and it's very light color. So yeah, it was just, you know, balancing all these elements and trying to figure out the true color of that water. You know, the water's continually moving and rushing. Trying to figure that out is a challenge. And then on top of all that, you have a little bit of reflections in some of the parts of the water of these rocks reflecting into the water. You know, there's just a lot to handle, and it was definitely an overload, but I think it came out pretty well for what it was, and it was cool to just be out there, very meditative, and a really epic place to paint. All right, guys, that was one of the most challenging paintings I've done in a long time. I'm not sure how it came out. I'll have to look at it later, but that was hard, dude. That was challenging. I definitely want to come back and try it again because the color harmony is really beautiful and it's cool to capture, but I think I overworked this one. I don't know. So that was super cool. Even if it turns out to be a bad painting, it was a great experience. Very meditative, just being out in nature here in the water, painting. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Really cool. Oh man, it's been a long day in the forest, in nature. It's been good, man, but I gotta head back home now. It's about a 2.5 hour drive, so not really looking forward to that, unfortunately. But I think coming out here was worth it. I would have regretted staying home and not doing this. So glad I got out and did it. Now I just got to get home, eat some dinner. We'll check out the paintings once I get home. Let's do it. I'll see you there. Yo, finally made it home. Glad you're here. It's good to be back. Here's that first one. This one came out pretty well. You know, after I did it, I was looking more at the forest and I realized, you know what, I should have just gone a lot darker in the shadow areas, and it really would have given more of a light effect. And I think what happened was I didn't squint enough, and I didn't compress the values enough to get that light effect. So next time I'm gonna focus on that. Here's the second one of that river. I used a lot of wax resist to get this water texture, because I knew when I was doing drawing the sketch, I realized, okay, I'm going to use a lot of wax resist to try to save the white of the paper. And I probably should have put more down than I did, but I ended up overworking this one altogether. I think I should have just gone darker and compressed the values near the this kind of focal area. But this was very tough. This was very challenging. I'm happy with parts of it, but I think I just overpainted it too many times. I was happy at the very beginning with kind of the color harmony that I was getting, and then as the painting progressed, I kind of killed a lot of that harmony. So some of it's still there. I'm still happy with some parts of it, but overall, not my greatest work. So there's the two paintings from today. You know, I'm happy overall with the effort that I put in. Obviously, there's things I could change with them, things I could make them better. But at the end of the day, for me, doing these plein air adventures, going outside for the day, it's more than just painting. You know, it's enjoying life, enjoying nature, enjoying what I like to do. Painting is part of that. Painting is one aspect of that. Going out, walking, exercising, clearing my mind, all of this is you know, the big package of these plein air adventures. Of course, it doesn't happen with every single one of them, but like today and like yesterday's episode, the last episode, you know, it's just getting out in nature, seeing some amazing things, and trying to capture that in a small sketch as a memory. And it's really fun to look back on these. You know, looking back at last year's paintings and a year and a half ago when I started these, it's fun to look back and see where I was at that point in my life, think about what was going on, and to see how far I've come with watercolor over this year and a half so far, these 103 episodes now. Who knows what the future holds? So yeah, it's just fun doing these, man. It's really fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed these episodes. Hope you enjoyed this one. So anyway, stay tuned for the next one. As always, keep on painting and drawing. Don't get discouraged. Take care of yourself. Peace, my friends.